In 2007, Indycar driver Charlie Kimball was abruptly forced to abandon his racing program mid-season when he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. But this Sunday, May 26, at the 103rd running of the Indianapolis 500, Kimball is once again gearing up to compete in the greatest spectacle in racing. We are joined by the first and only licensed driver with diabetes in the history of IndyCar to win a race at the most elite level of the series, and first licensed driver to qualify and compete in the Indianapolis 500. Thank you for being with us this morning, Charlie. Good morning, Charlie. So how does it feel to be back at the Indy 500s competing again? It's so exciting, huh?
It really is. The Indianapolis 500 is the single largest one-day attended sporting event in the world, and for me, as a racing driver, it's the biggest race of the year, and I can't wait for race weekend to get here, all the festivities, and more importantly, 500 miles of racing on Sunday.
Gosh, that's so awesome. I have to ask you, like 500 miles, what's the duration of how long does that normally take?
Well, it takes somewhere between 3.5, sometimes 4 hours, depending on the race pace and how many yellows there are. So when I'm strapped in the car like that, for me, one of the challenges is managing my blood sugars, my blood glucose.
Yes.
As the first licensed driver with type 1 diabetes, I have to keep track of what my blood glucose is doing during the race. And the way I do that is with a Dexcom G6 continuous glucose monitor. So I have a sensor on my body, and it transmits to a display that actually plugs into the car's data system. So on my steering wheel, I get blood glucose just like I get speed and lap time.
Wow, that's incredible. So could you roughly, for people that don't know, could you roughly talk about your diabetes story?
Yeah, I was diagnosed back in 2007. I went into the doctor and came out with a really surprising diagnosis of diabetes. I didn't know anything about what diabetes was or what it meant. And more importantly to me at the time, I didn't know if it meant I would ever get back in a race car, because I was in the middle of my racing career and I was chasing my dream of racing in the Indianapolis 500, and I didn't know if it would ever work out. But 3 months after I was diagnosed, got back in a race car. A couple of years later, I made history as the first licensed driver with diabetes to race in the Indy 500.
So I think that technology is so innovative that the way that you keep up with your glucose, like the way you track it with it while you're racing in the vehicle, I think that will open other opportunities, other possibilities in any in every aspect of sports or driving as well. So that's really cool. So can you tell us where can we go for more information and where can we follow you?
So for more information on the Dexcom G6 that I use, people can go to dexcom.com, and to keep up to speed with me on social media, they can follow me at Charlie Kimball.
All right, man, we'll be watching you. Good luck out there.
Thank you. Don't forget the Indy 500 will be live on NBC this Sunday at noon Eastern.
Perfect, guys. Make sure you tune in.